Hey there, it's Richard Groner, and I've got a quick tip for you about informative speeches. As we're talking about informative speeches this week, and that's the next big speech you have. So, I wanted to just quickly bring up some important things to remember to consider when you're talking about informative speeches. So, the first one is, what is the purpose of an informative speech? It is simply to provide knowledge. That seems simple enough, right? What that actually is saying is your job is not to sway your audience. It's not to convince them that one thing is better than another. It's not to tell them what is better one way or the other. It's simply to provide all of the particular views or aspects of a topic. So if you pick global warming, your job as an informative speaker is to talk about what leads up to global warming, but it's also to discuss the fact that there are people who believe that global warming is not a real thing and what their viewpoint is. You are to provide the knowledge completely around the topic and allow the audience to decide for themselves. So you aren't there to persuade. You never want to persuade an audience. Keep that in mind when you are putting your speech together. Focus on the fact that you are teaching about a subject. That's your whole job, to teach, to provide the information, the facts, all of the stuff that's relative to the topic so that the audience has enough information to decide for themselves how they feel about your particular topic. You also use informative speeches to shape perception. Sometimes people don't even know what some things are. In my face-to-face classes, I show a speech about alopecia. People don't even know what alopecia is, but it's a disease that affects different people. There's three different types, and typically their hair falls out. So you might see a woman, typically seeing a young 20s something female with no hair on her head. I mean, this includes no eyebrows, eyelashes, all of that stuff. People think, oh, what's wrong with her? So you're shaping perception by providing knowledge about this disease that causes this. And you may run into someone who has alopecia. And now you know, I was actually in a band with a girl who had alopecia, and I had already seen this particular speech I show in class. And because I had seen the speech, it sort of modified my perception of, oh, this person's weird. No, they have a disease, and I understand what the different types of the disease are and that kind of thing. You're also given the object of articulating alternatives. So, since you have to provide a full rounded view of a subject, some people may only have one view, and it's the view that they had developed on their own or their understanding of something, or maybe it's based on their personal experience, and they may not ever have even considered or seen or heard of other possible perspectives or viewpoints on the same thing. So, your job as an informative speaker is to present those different alternatives to what they may already have. So, again, a full rounded picture of your topic. You're not there to sway them, you're simply there to provide knowledge, and it's try to fill in all the pieces of knowledge about a particular topic. And then the last thing that's extremely important as an informative speaker is not to have a call to action in your speech. A call to action makes your speech a persuasive speech. When you say, please go out and vote, please go out and buy, please go out and tell other people how great this is, or anytime you're asking for people to have some sort of an action, that's a call to action. Obviously, it kind of sounds like it, right? And that makes it a persuasive speech. Your job is not to persuade, your job is to inform, to teach. So you don't put that in there. You might say, if you are interested in this topic, you can find more information at whatever. Maybe it's a place where you found information, but you do not try to persuade it. Please go and learn more about this. That makes it a persuasive speech. That is not what your speech is. Your speech is simply to inform, to teach, to provide knowledge on a particular topic. While we're at it, informative speakers have some responsibilities. One is to be objective. So, yes, you may have a particular viewpoint on topics that you're talking about, But your job is not to express only your viewpoint and not to sway your audience to your viewpoint. It is to present all of the viewpoints that exist about a particular topic. You also need to be credible. It's on every rubric. Establish your credibility. In the introduction, explain to the audience why you are credible on this particular topic. You all get to pick your topics. So talk about why you picked it. Talk about, maybe it's, I'm going to talk about how to bake brownies. So I talk about how long I've been baking brownies and where I got the recipe. And people are always asking me to, you need to do stuff that establishes to the audience that they know, oh, this person does know what they're talking about. You also want to be knowledgeable. You might think you know everything about a particular topic, research it. Find out, are there alternative views to what I already know? Is there some slice of this that I've never even explored? Explore that so that you can present, again, a full rounded picture. You also need to find a way that it's relevant to the audience. I find so many times that we'll have speeches, the person's talking about something that's interesting to them, but they don't relate it to what the audience can gain from knowing about this topic. Always remember, you are supposed to be audience centered. What can they gain by taking the time, their valuable time, and listening to you talk about a subject? What are they going to take away from that? You know, the alopecia. Next time you might run into somebody who appears to be bald or having patches in there where they normally would have hair. Now you know there's a disease called alopecia, and this is what it is. Find ways so that the audience realizes, hey, I can use this in my own personal life. And that's really where we are for informative speeches. I wanted to keep it short. Hopefully I've done that. I'll find out in a minute when I shut off the recording. But I am looking forward to seeing what your topics are. Remember, your job is to inform, to teach, to provide knowledge. I'll see you later.